What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my walkthrough for the challenges of Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013. Today we're going to be taking on part of what I think is the most clever of the challenges. We're going to be taking on Say Your Praetors. This is a cool one because this challenge is actually divided up into 5 parts. And I was trying to think of good ways to kind of go through this and show each one to you. I don't want to go over each card 5 different times, so I think what we're going to be doing once we get in here is we're going to talk about the cards that directly affect the specific scenario we're trying to clear. And then we're just going to run through it and kind of talk about each one in separate sections. That way we don't get too bogged down in details that don't really affect the match that we're in or the goals that we're trying to achieve this time. So the 5 Preators of New Phyrexia are going for your throat. Survive and win on your next turn. Can you solve this puzzle 5 ways, slaying a different Preator each time? It's pretty tricky, actually. Some of them are a lot easier than others. There are a couple really difficult ones. We're going to just be going down the line as they appear on the board, not as they appear right there. Like, we're not going to start with black, actually. I think we start with white. Yes, we do. Alright, so the deal with this is that's actually going to start on his turn, so I'm going to go ahead and pause it real quick just so that we can take a quick look at what we need to know for right now. Each Praetor has a pretty powerful ability. Now this version of Jace has all of them out there, which is pretty bad for us. But let's go ahead and just take a look at the abilities that we need to know for right now. The first Praetor that we're going to try and take on is Elesh Norman over here. He's got Vigilance himself. He also gives creatures that our opponents control +2/+2, and our creatures -2/-2, which is never a way you want to start a battle. We've also got, this guy doesn't matter. This guy is pertinent because when we don't kill him, we have to sacrifice a creature at the beginning of our upkeep, which is kind of rough. I mean, hopefully he doesn't get to another upkeep, so we don't have to worry about the, at the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature. We don't really have to worry about that, but we definitely have to keep in mind that we have to sacrifice during our upkeep coming up. Creatures that enter the battlefield for us come into play tapped. That's very pertinent to this one. And we've also got the fact that our mana is not going to untap during our untap step. So any instants or anything that we play are actually going to be very detrimental to us on our next turn. So we have to really watch our mana and watch everything that we do. Let's go ahead and take a look at the card that we have on the field, which is Baneslayer Angel, which is perfect for us because it has lifelink. That's really the only thing that's really pertinent off of that card, is the fact that it's going to allow us to live through the onslaught, because there's just a massive amount of damage coming at us this next turn. Now we'll just take a look at the cards that we have in hand. The most important ones that we have actually are our instants. We've got Giant Growth, which is +3/+3. We've got Brute Force, which is +3/+3. And we've got Veteran's Reflexes, which is +1/+1. We've also got some other cards. We'll go ahead and try and do these as normally as we used to. We've got a creature called Spark Elemental. At the beginning of the end step, you sacrifice it. It's got Trample and Haste, which is pretty good. We've got Avatar of Hope, which is very expensive, but if we have 3 or less life, he's going to come into the field. We've got Avatar of Might as well. That one is at least 4 more creatures than you, and it costs 6 less to cast. The thing we really have to pay attention to, because we have 2 of each mana that we would need out there, the thing we really have to pay attention to are those instants, like I said. We have Burst of Speed, which creatures you control gain haste, and we also have Paralytic Feedback, which deals damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's converted mana cost. So there's a lot going on the field right now. There's also a lot going on in our hand. So the thing is that these challenges aren't too difficult, especially this first one when we take on the White Preator, but they are just kind of overwhelming just from the sheer amount of cards and everything that we have. I mean, we have 8 cards right now, which is weird. But there's just there's a lot going on the field, and there's a lot going on in our hands, so it can be kind of hard to come up with a strategy for this. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is we're going to go ahead and let Jace declare his attack step, declare his attackers. We're going to reassess the field after that and see what happens. Any day now. Okay, so he comes in for a crap ton of damage. Now we're going after the white Preators, so the first thing we have to do is declare blockers. We'll go ahead and hit continue, and we'll stop right there. Because the first thing we have to assess is how we're going to kill this thing. Which is why, like I said, our instants are the most important aspect of this right here. Now, our mana doesn't untap during our untap step. That's really going to shape the way that we go about killing this first white Preator. Because we have to be careful. We have to make sure that the instants that we cast are going to allow us to have the right color combinations for our turn, that we can play the cards that we need to. Now, we have to kill this guy. We have to get up to 7 offense, 7 attack to kill this Preator. Now, the easiest way to do that, first of all, would be to cast Giant Growth or Brute Force, because they both give +3/+3. They're basically the same card, essentially. One of those and Veteran's Reflexes, because it gives +1/+1 until end of turn. But, because that would equal to 7, and we'd keep the 3/3. In some scenarios, that would seem like the best play, because we'd actually have held back our better increase in power. But I really need to stress the fact that this is going to let us untap a creature, and as we know, creatures that we play come onto the field tapped, thanks to this hidden dude over here. He's all hiding. We don't even know where he is, but we know that we're coming in tapped. So that's actually going to be the worst play we could make. We want to keep Veteran's Reflexes back just because of that untap, because we don't know what's going to happen on our turn. We don't know what we're going to draw, but we do know that we have a creature that has Trample and Haste, and that if we kill this guy with Vigilance, he is unable to block. So we want to be able to untap that guy. So just assessing it really quickly, the best way to take out this white Preator is by playing both of these cards and just going a little bit overboard on the life. Remember, it also has lifelink, so we're not really losing anything. We're going to gain the whole 9 life right here, which is actually going to be very helpful for us. We go back up to 11. It doesn't really matter because it's dead. Their power decreases, our power increases once again. He casts this, which I always paused on, and I always took a look at Paralytic Feedback. Paralytic Feedback deals damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's converted mana cost, like we said before. However, it's going to tap us out, and we will be unable to respond on our turn because we'll be completely tapped down. It doesn't really matter what we draw at that point. We won't be able to play it because of the green Preator's ability. So we have to just kind of let this spell come in. It's just going to mill us. We're at 45 cards, so we don't even really care. It's just that feedback, it wouldn't have even killed him. It just would have dealt him down. We have to get rid of our creature anyway, so that's not what we need to do here. Now we have Sizzle. Sizzle deals 3 damage to each opponent, which looks kind of good, but once again, it's not going to get him there. It's not going to kill him, so that's not really what we're looking at. Creatures you control have haste, is nice, but the only creature we're able to play already has haste. So basically, this one kind of solves itself. We're going to go ahead and play Spark Elemental. He's going to come onto the field tapped, but thankfully we kept this card open. He's going to untap, get +1/+1, and he's going to be able to attack for lethal damage right there, taking Jace down to 0. So there you go. That is how you tackle the first section of Say Your Praetors. We're going to be tackling one section a day for the next several days, or I might put some of these up all at once, I'm not sure. Probably one a day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. The Preators can be kind of tricky just because they're so powerful, so I really hope this episode helped you out. If you liked it, be sure to check out my channel. I got a lot of other way different Let's Plays than this one up on the channel that you might also like as well. But for right now, I just want to thank you for checking out this episode, so thanks a lot. I will see you guys tomorrow.